Access Sportsnet Lakers, brought to you by your Toyota dealers. We make it easy. Allie Clifton alongside James Worthy, Danny Green, Mike Trudell handling stuff out in Phoenix. And guys, a disappointing loss for the Lakers, who have now lost 3 in a row. And look, despite how fun, back and forth, you had a shot to tie it there down the stretch, how competitive it was. I think coming in versus a Phoenix Suns squad down their 2 stars, no Devin Booker, as we talked about in the pregame, no Dylan Brooks. To look at this one in totality, the biggest key we talked about in the pregame, taking away their confidence early. Big game. The reality is you were tied at 49 at half. You were tied at 80 going into the 4th. And versus a team that has played hard all season long, that's their MO, who can hit shots. They average 15 threes made per game on the season. They outshoot you from deep by 33. They hit 22 of 50. You said that's tough to overcome, despite having a shot to tie it up.
Yeah, the minute you're missing a player, one of your star players, and if you're missing 2, you better believe that whatever's going to be on that floor is going to have tons of energy. They're going to be scrappy. They got nothing to lose. You got LeBron, Luka coming in here. That's a dangerous game to play. And you have to have your antennas up from the beginning. And I thought the Lakers, they played hard. I thought they fought back to get rid of that deficit tied at halftime. But 22 threes, and then on top of that, you give up 15 offensive rebounds. That's given them more opportunities to knock down threes. And so, yeah, it was a scrappy game. The Lakers, just didn't have enough to deal with, the effort, I thought, and the energy that Phoenix. I mean, Gillespie and Grayson Allen, they hit a lot of threes, and then you saw that last play, they were willing to shoot it with confidence, and they did tonight.
I do want to take a look at that last play, if we could, just again, because we were sitting here kind of breaking it all down, and you said they worked for it, despite...
It was a great possession. They were very patient. They attacked the paint. They got the switch that they wanted. They were attacking Luka. That was the game plan, which most teams are going to do. Not because he's just a terrible defender, but he's the weaker defender of the Lakers, right? You want to wear him down. He's at 41, so it's like, all right, how do we slow Luka down? Make him play defense. Yep. Got the switch. Grayson Allen attacked. He took his time. He made a hell of a pass from baseline to the corner, and then the corner swung Royce O'Neal, top wing 3, and then JJ drew up a hell of a drop too. And to me, I think Phoenix didn't play this well either. Yep. But yeah, that's a hell of a draw for a great look for Austin Reaves, one of your top shooters, one of your top scorers, one of your top players, to get a great look to tie it. So great execution down the stretch for both teams offensively, but they were lacking on the defensive boxing out. There was a lot of offensive, rebound putbacks. Even on the Lakers side, Jake had some great possessions. Braun had a putback. So it got sloppy at a time, but high energy, high intense game. And like Big Game said, there's nothing more dangerous than a wounded animal. And that wounded animal got some confidence, like you spoke about late in the game. They were taking shots and knocking down shots without their 2 stars confidently. And Jalen Green didn't have it going. So really 3 of your top guys were not playing, 2 not playing, 1 not playing well. But everybody else kind of stepped up. You got to give them credit. 22 threes is hard to come back from. The Lakers did show some character of fighting and getting back. Luka brought him back, got him in it. Marcus Smart made some plays down the stretch. But unfortunately, it was a little too late.
I was going to say, you get 49 combined from Gillespie and Grayson Allen, but then again, those 15 offensive rebounds. Did you like the possession there down the stretch? As you mentioned, a heck of a draw up there by JJ for Austin. He's been in those moments before. He's hit game winners in a Laker uniform before. He had an awesome look there to tie it up.
Yeah, I agree with Danny, too. I mean, Phoenix just allowed that to happen. There's no way they should have been anywhere inside of the 3-point line. They should have just been down there and let them have the 2. But what a great play.
Yeah, great screen. Maxi Kleber made a great screen.
The out-of-bounds pass was really difficult, too, to get that over there. Had a good, clean look at it. Ran it between 2 players. For a distraction, kind of a pick. Yeah. And he was wide open. So
little elevator screen.
It was that what they call it?
Yeah, you haven't seen one of those in a while. They used to do that like early Golden State days. Clay and Steph would set a cross screen and run through the elevator and close the doors. You can't get through.
Well, also, sometimes I like to see the play again because I don't know how open Grayson was, Allen Grayson, when he was going down. Sometimes I think you got to make a guy make a tough shot at the rim if he's defended properly. But if it's wide open, you got to help. And so when the help came, that kind of broke the defense.
He got a step on Luka, pretty good step. Somebody had to come. I think it was Brad had to come help.
Yeah.
Drew two, and then the one V-back, it was Austin Reaves. He's got to play two guys. So wherever that pass goes, a lot of teams anticipate that pass to steal it. But then if you miss it, if he throws it to that wing, it's a three. But he still threw it, got it through, which was a hell of a pass, and then swing to Royce O'Neal at the top of wing, and he knocked it down.
Here's the play right here.
There you go. It gets by Luka a little bit. It's Bron.
Yeah.
And then AR, and then you get a full rotation by Jake trying to get there, but he's just so far behind. Yeah. Ball moves.
That's also disciplined by Phoenix.
Yeah, ball moves faster than the man, right? So if you don't hesitate and you swing like you're supposed to, you're going to get some open looks. And they did that all night. You know, that wasn't just on the last play. Like Gillespie, Grayson Allen, they were playing two-man games, slipping out of screens. Gillespie throwing go with the big, putting Luka in action.
Say it one more time.
They're just moving the ball so well tonight, and that's why they got so many uncontested great looks from the three-point line and got so many attempts, way more attempts, you know, pretty much doubling the Lakers' attempts, I would say, and then getting some good looks and got in rhythm.
When the Hall of Famer asks,
Let's see,
we deliver.
I just want to see. If everybody stays at home, he probably hits a decent shot or gets a good look at it.
He's getting a layup. He's probably going to get a layup. If Bron just stays home, he's probably going to get a right-hand layup. But naturally, yeah, I mean, I guess, do you give that up over a layup? Probably.
That extra pass was amazing, though, to have the patience to kick that back out.
Didn't even hesitate. Touch pass. Gillespie.
I feel like right now this is the question I continue to ask. We asked it on Sunday. You talk about it after Tuesday, after you lose 3 in a row, and especially with where you are in the standings. A loss to Phoenix, who was 2 games behind you coming into this one big game. Now they're a game behind you. You're also 11-16 versus teams above 500. Every game matters. You got 24 to play here down the stretch.
Yeah, they're in a tough place right now, and they have some tough teams coming up. You know, we've been saying this for the last couple of weeks. This is 3 games in a row that they've lost, and so they're still in 6th place, which is hard to believe.
Too close for me to be in the play-in, honestly.
That's what I'm saying.
And before this game, I'm thinking, you know, they're not worried about Phoenix. They're looking forward. And right now, you're kind of looking backwards now because this is, again, a team that is down bodies, and you allow them to catch up a game. And I don't know their strength of schedule the rest of the way, but once they get those 2 other guys back and playing, you know, this is dangerous. And now you got to put yourself in a situation where you have to win a game to get into playoffs. And then when you do win those games or win one of those games, you're welcomed with meeting the OKC Thunder or the San Antonio Spurs, because the Spurs are only a game and a half or 2 games behind the Thunder. So you don't want to meet those 2 monsters in the first round of the playoffs.
Despite 41-8-8 from Luka Doncic, the Lakers fall 113-110. Time to hear from Coach JJ Redick, brought to you by your Toyota dealers.
I guess, where did you feel like the game turned after you'd rallied to take that lead in the second half? I guess you could point to the 6-point possession, but anything with the way you were playing up to that point?
I mean, in general, I think, you know, the thing we talked about this morning was trying to limit their lasers, and not just in makes, but in terms of attempts. It's the reason we didn't, you know, play a ton of zone, or didn't play any zone. You know, we made some adjustments with our 5s, had them in coverage for most of the game. You know, they ended up getting some good looks. Went to 15. They got some transition threes. The thing we talked about, to be able to limit their lasers, you have to defend for 24 seconds, so that starts in transition. And then they're just going to keep playing and get to multiple actions. And that's the part that I think that just hurt us a lot, just being able to keep up with their pace and their speed.
What did you see from your offense, I guess good and bad, or throughout the night?
I thought Luka was fantastic. I'll start there. I mean, he made a ton of great plays, made the right play, very consistent. I just told him, you know, there was one play where he had created a mismatch and made a good play, and then got the mismatch again and took a tough, you know, step back from the left wing early in the clock. You know, outside of that, you know, I liked his process tonight. I thought, you know, in the second half we did a good job of getting the right guys onto the basketball and then running offense. Got some good stuff, out of ATOs, despite the fact that we botched 3 straight to start the game in the first half. And I think that lineup that we played tonight, which I don't know if it was our first time playing it, but it was something we talked about pregame, was letting Luka and AR play longer together, letting LeBron play on his own for a little bit. And, there was, 7 minutes of that Jake, Luke, AR, Luka, Jackson lineup. And that was a good lineup for us tonight. And then end game, you can't get a better look than that. So, we executed. The guys did a great job executing. Looked clean coming out of his hand. I thought it was in.
The O'Neal 3, was that just you guys were scrambling a bit, or?
So there's 2 things on that. So they wheel. So the ball gets middle, they wheel. So Jake's guy, when Luka was on the ball, he got to the dunker. So they're basically in double dunker. Jalen Green was on the right wing, and as he drove to his right hand, he started drifting towards the corner. Now Amir Coffey, worked his way out to the corner on that drive. So essentially we ended up with 2 low men. And so, it would have been Smart's rotation had Jalen Green not shifted towards the corner. Really, there was no one there to go, Jake where Jake was to be able to get the contest. That's there was no one to rotate, essentially. So, he got a clean look and he made it.
And you guys, obviously came back from down 12 6.5 minutes ago, and Marcus Smart seemed to have his fingerprints all over that. What did you see from him over that stretch?
Yeah, Smart was great. I think, when we got down, and look, the whole game got a little wacky just because of the nature of their runs and us not winning that challenge and the timeout situation. So to start a half with 3 timeouts, knowing in a tie game where you've got to have one at the end, it really, I think that hurt us. When we got up double digits in the third quarter and they made that run, I think they cut it to 2 when I finally called it. I didn't necessarily want to call it. I wanted to be able to go into the fourth with 3 because Jordan had called 2 already, so there was already 2 mandatory. So I was hoping I could get to the end of the game with 2 timeouts, and that kind of hurt us.
JJ, I want to ask you about some of the bad luck moments and the trickle effects from that that seem to kind of hurt you guys, whether it's emotionally or spirit wise. Like Jalen Green, you guys played 23 seconds of good possession of defense possession in a 3-point game in the second quarter. Jalen Green hits a bomb, and then Vando.
Yeah, so they had 2 6-point possessions in the game.
Yeah. There was another where you guys are up 12. Luka, that 3 you mentioned, Luka takes a quick shot. They come back down. They score. You guys are on the wrong end of a block charge. 10-0 run. What needs to happen to better handle that type of in-game adversity? Who's that on? And how does that? Have you sensed that throughout the course of the year, those kind of back-breaking type moments?
Yeah. I think we've certainly had our. I would say this. We talk about this as staff. Our losses are louder than other teams because we're the Lakers and because of the way we lose. You get this deep in the season, and again tonight was a 1-possession clutch game, which now we've lost a few of those, but we've been great for the most part in the clutch all year. Our losses are louder. I would say. So we had some adversity tonight. Did we not respond?
I think after, yeah, definitely. I think
you're not going to avoid adversity
for sure. But I think maybe it's quicker. Maybe it's a next play mentality. More of that. I just kind of it's not just a full on tonight issue.
I thought our guys were great with that tonight. There's basketball's a game of mistakes, and we made mistakes just like I make mistakes. I don't think Jordan Ott coached a perfect game. I don't think their players. Grayson Allen kicked our butt. He was 9 for 24. That's the game, and so I think our guys responded tonight.
I'm actually going to read this. Lakers 3 straight losses. Our losses are louder. Did we not respond?
The game tonight?
Yeah.
I thought they played hard. They made some mistakes, and Phoenix shot the hell out of the basketball without 2 players. That was a fluke game. Sometimes you call them trap games, but, you know, NBA players, I say this all the time, they're here for a reason. They can play. And when they get an opportunity to play, it was a dangerous game. I'd have much rather had Booker and Dylan Brooks. I would have.
Brings a different mentality.
It's a dangerous game. And the way it started, you know, the Lakers gave them a lot of confidence, even though they came back and tied it up. Phoenix was confident.
Yeah, he's not wrong. I mean, the losses are a lot louder. I mean, because you're the Lakers, right? Everybody's watching what you're doing. The standard, the expectation is a lot higher. And like Big Game said, I mean, they fought. They played well. They fought hard. But with the exception, I would say, of the first quarter and a half, because the first quarter looked kind of, I wouldn't say gloomy. It looked like they were in different trends, like some type of trends or phase of. And there were some moments where they, you know, let them beat them to the ball. But outside of that, you know, they played hard. And again, you got to put 4 quarters together. And if you do that from the start, do we think this team continues shooting like this with that type of confidence? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? But again, you got to give Phoenix a lot of credit. They moved the ball well. They got good looks. They shot the ball extremely high percentage efficiency. So that's a tough game to win when you got a team that's playing that well and shooting that well.
And unfortunately, sometimes when you know a player is going to be out, it's like you have a subconscious kind of a letdown. When you have 2 players out, you just, something in your mind tells you that, you know, you think you can win, and you go into a game like that without that killer instinct and without knowing that these guys are coming with a lot of energy, and before you know it, it's second quarter, you're down 10, now you got to fight, and you're giving this team a lot of confidence. Well, they were hitting threes, and they felt good about it. So, yeah, it's just something the Lakers got to, when they get the lead, you get a 10-point lead, you got to, you know, maybe take a timeout and say, look, guys, this is where we are. Let's take it to the next level.
They made 11 more than the Lakers and shot 31
Hard
more.
to beat that.
I think some of those turnovers also really hurt. There was a momentum swing when
No,
Grayson.
13 turnovers for the Lakers for 18 Phoenix points. Yep.
Yeah, so and a lot of those, again, the momentum swing was when Grayson Allen back-to-back transition threes, and one was off a
Reaves is with Mike Trudell.
Well, Austin, I'm sure that's about as good of a look as you could have gotten there. Did it feel good coming out, and you would just hit one on the play before, and just sometimes it doesn't go down?
Yeah, just missed.
What's the frustration level? Just the way that you had control of this game, a couple of different occasions, they come back, all the threes that they hit, all the frustrating plays, and a third straight loss.
Very high.
What's the way to deal with that and try to move on?
Watch film, be better, control the, you know, very controllable things that we're doing out there. So, you know, you got to move on and be better next time.
You just mentioned the controllables. There was, you guys played pretty good defense for a possession in the second quarter. Jalen Green hits a 3, and then, you know, you guys turn over an inbounds pass. You know, there's a block charge that doesn't go your way. It's part of, like, it seems to ignite other teams' these types of mistakes. Like, how do you guys, like, handle that in-game adversity better? And I guess, I mean, you've shown you can do it some. You came back tonight, but just more consistently.
I think it's just next play mentality. You can't, you know, think about the past mistakes you've made. You got to move on and continue to compete at a high level.
The Suns were obviously able to make, I think it was 22 threes, but they were also able to attempt 50. And JJ pointed out that was a talking point. What were you seeing out there that I guess allowed them to get as many threes as they did, get up as many threes as they did?
You know, I think that's how they play. Pass, sprint, slip, pass, drive, close out, throw to the weak side, swing, makes your defense work. Yeah, I don't know what JJ said, but obviously, you know, we needed to be better in that aspect.
What do you think? You guys executed that last play with the double screen to get you wide open across court. I mean, how did that work out so well for you? And then obviously the end not being what you wanted to be.
It's just the design of the play. I mean, it's a good play call. I got a good look, missed it. But yeah, it's like it's what the play was designed to do. So, yeah, it's just like I said, a good design play.
You guys were down 12 with 6.5 minutes to go. The crowd was going nuts. It seemed like there was no momentum. What do you think allowed you to make it a game from that point on?
Luka. I mean, made many tough shots, and Marcus made a huge defensive play, got the block. Just, you know, high-level basketball from him and everybody else as well.
You mentioned next play mentality. I mean, is that tied to consistency? Consistency has been an issue with this team all year. Do you think those two things are related?
I don't know. You're making my brain work too hard now, and I don't know.
Austin, it's obviously a long season. You're going to go through ebbs and flows. For you guys right now, what do you got to do to get out of this slump?
Control the controllables. It's just, you know, there's just a handful of plays tonight. I feel like if we are better, you know, I could swing a game. So all those, every possession matters. I know it sounds like a cliche because there's so many of them, but you know, it can make swing the game in either direction throughout, you know, the game. One little play, one little mistake can ignite a